about a very sensitive subject. So many of you all have wrote me several times before asking me how to deal with unsupportive family and friends. And you all know my backstory with losing over 100 pounds, with earning my PhD, with bad relationships, with bad friendships. You know, it began with adoption. So I began with not even having my biological parents in my life. So I've had to deal with letting go of a lot of things. So many people have written to me in relation to unsupportive family and friends and their weight loss, but I think that this can stem through so many things. This can stem from weight loss, it can stem from any transformation you're going through in life, you going to school, going natural or cutting your hair off, you starting a new job, you wanting new friends or wanting to branch out in your life, from you buying a new home. It can stem from anything that a person sees as possibly threatening to them, even when you're not attempting to do so. So I'm going to help you get through the unsupportiveness and start to be more self-reliant, self-confident, self-assured that you can do this. And it's not necessarily on your own, but it's building a network of people who do understand what your purpose is and what you seek to do. First thing that you need to do is establish boundaries. A lot of times we allow people to be in every piece and part, nook and cranny of our lives. That's not always needed. Some people don't need to have a say-so in your life. Some people simply need to have several seats. Sometimes you need to be able to keep your mouth shut and learn how to not talk about everything that's going on in your life. I've had to learn it. Others have had to learn it. One thing that I set a boundary with is relationships. You all will hear me talking about old relationships, but I never really talk about the current people that I'm dating. I'm very sensitive about that issue. It's a boundary for me, even with close friends. Some friends I don't talk to about relationships that I'm in because I feel like sometimes we're judged by the relationships that we take on. Those relationships never have a chance to take off fully because we involve too many people in a relationship that's between two people. We're not allowing ourselves to think on our own because we don't think of ourselves as capable enough to do it on our own. So we're always and constantly asking for this assurance and for the validation of other people. I no longer want that. I don't want anybody to validate my relationships, especially when their relationships might be half, we know what. We ask people for advice that shouldn't be giving advice. Think about it. Number two, you gotta learn how to tune people out. I used to get into verbal fights and altercations oftentimes. I've even been in physical fights. A lot of people might think that I've always been quote unquote superwoman, positive. I used to fight and I don't hold back. And that's why I've had to learn what makes me mad and what doesn't make me mad, because I'm either 0 or 100. 0, which is happy Nina, great Nina, positive Nina, wonderful Nina, or you're gonna get 100. And 100 is not a good place for me to be. Learn how to tune people out. You cannot listen to everything people say because first of all, people have an underlying meaning to everything that they say. Sometimes when people say things to you, they mean it to hurt you. And even if they don't mean it to hurt you, sometimes they're dealing with their own issues and insecurities, and sometimes the things that they say are meant to spit insecurities back into your life, and sometimes that can activate certain things that have been insecurities for you in the past, or might currently be that you're working through. Everybody has insecurities. However, you have to realize the people that are around you that you need to tune out, and I have several of them. There are people that I just learned to say thank you, and I don't take it any further. It's no reason to fight, fuss, or argue, or allow myself to get to 100, okay? Know that their anger is not always directed at you. Sometimes when people say things to you that are unsupportive, sometimes it's because they're feeling unsupported. Sometimes they're feeling that people don't support them and that they're not important, or because you're taking on another endeavor, it's kind of stressing to them, or that they're less than, or that they have not gotten as far as you have gotten. Sometimes you breathing will piss people off. That's the realness of the situation. You breathing, you talking, you having an opinion will make people mad. And you have to realize that. You're not going to be able to get along with everybody. You're not going to be able to satisfy everyone. And sometimes everything you do is going to be upsetting to them. But you have to learn that every time someone says mean things to you, or something that's said to you that you do not like, first of all, some people are trying to help you in their very own way. But sometimes people just don't feel that they're being supported in the same way. So you have to realize that their anger is not always directed at you. You might be the nearest thing that they have to take their anger out on. Also, learn to depend on yourself and God. These people that we're talking about that are unsupportive, obviously you've reached some level of emotional connection with them. You find that you have to depend on them. I don't care if you're married. I don't care if you're in a relationship. I don't care if it's your sister, your brother, your mother. You have to realize that in this life, a lot of this life is dependent on you. You do not have to depend on anyone for your happiness or unhappiness for that matter. If people are making you that unhappy, you need to move away from the situation. And even if you live in the same house with them, there are things you can do to limit and put boundaries between yourself and that person. I'm not saying build a wall or stop loving them or stop talking to them. What I'm saying is learn how to depend on yourself for happiness. Don't always look to them to reassure you, to validate you, to make you feel good about your decisions. Learn how to do that on your own with your higher being. For me, it's God. And with God, I had to learn, hey, I need to read this scripture right now because I'm tripping out. Right now, this person about to get blasted on, so I'm going to go over here and do something positive. Because of so many struggles that I came through. Like I told y'all, I was a fighter. And still can be very quickly, but there's a thin line, and I've learned how to depend on God to stop me in those instances. To give my passion to something else. Some of y'all see this passion, how I talk, you might call it swag. This is called passion. 10, 12 years ago, this passion was put into other things that might not have been so positive. So you have to consider those things. Next, you want to learn how to listen to those who care, even when it hurts. Everybody ain't hating on you. Everybody ain't mad at what you're doing. Everybody ain't trying to stop your hustle. Some people really do want to help you, and you have to be smart enough to know who to take advice from. Everybody out here ain't got good advice. So let's make that clear right now. I don't take my advice from everybody. Some people do love you and care for you, and everything that they say will not be peaches and cream. You don't want a bunch of yes men around you. You want people who are in your corner that are going to tell you the good and the bad. I have a mentor. I have best friends in my life that have been best friends of mine for a long time. I have people in my life that can tell me things that hurt. However, I've learned how to filter those things because sometimes things might come out a certain way that you don't like them. But you have to sit and think about them. And sometimes the things that make us mad are because they're very true. So know when to say thank you and keep it moving. I don't argue with everybody. I don't even waste my breath on everybody. I don't allow everybody to breathe in my space. Some people might say, oh, well, she thinks she's all that, she's that, and she's this. I do. It's okay. It's okay for me to think I'm all that. What does that do to you? Why is that offending you? Not because I have to say I'm all that or do. I live my life that way. Girl, you think you all that. Thank you. Girl, you think you funny. Thank you. Girl, you think you look cute. Thank you. Girl, you think you hot. Thank you. Girl, you think you the bomb. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Just learn when to say thank you and keep it moving. And a lot of times that's what people are looking for them to be able to tap into an insecurity of yours and verify that insecurity by you arguing with them. Unsupportive people know how to do it very well. And sometimes you might be the unsupportive person. I've been that person before, and I had to check it and check myself, because when someone else is happy, it should not make you unhappy. That means you're missing a piece of something in your life that you need to change. So you might be the unsupportive person that people need to start saying thank you to. Build a support network. Learn how to build a network of people who understand your mind. They're like-minded. They have wisdom. They have goals. They have achieved things that you seek to achieve. They mirror the part of life that you need. You have to pick yourself up and get out of a situation. And I've even been bombarded with things such as, but I live in a house with them. I move away from them. You can do it. We all got imaginations. Imagine you somewhere else. Stop fighting and arguing and wasting time. Find something else outside the house that you can do. Create a goal. Create something away. I imagine myself in other places all the time. I had one of the wildest imaginations. I went to trips to Mexico in my head. I went to trips to Spain in my head. I actually went to Spain and Mexico, but a lot of times I was in these places when people thought I was talking to them. I wasn't. It sounds crazy, but it works. Because sometimes you have to build a network of your own. And if you're surrounded by those who don't understand that purpose, then you need to get yourself a new network and move away from those who don't and get with a network that does. Lastly, is spend your time with those who deserve it. Stop giving your time away so easily, whether it's to a boyfriend, to a girlfriend, to someone who's not a boyfriend or girlfriend who just demands your time or sex or money or whatever it is. Or even if it's people in your life who, if you're young and in school, who cheat off of you or want your answers to everything, want you to do this and do that for them. Or in your life who are not fulfilling, co-workers on the job that always have something to say to you. Only give your time to those who deserve it, and you'll have a more fulfilling life. So from that I say, yes, you might have very, very unsupportive people in your life, but there's people out there that will support you, and furthermore, you have to learn to support yourself. So that's why I made this video today. Write your comments below. Also, I am directing you to my blog. There's a specific blog post about this. Click on it below. I want to discuss this. Put your words in motion. If you don't feel comfortable making a video response, put your words in motion. Go over to the blog and discuss it. I really want people to have a support network. Let's build a support network. Okay, guys, check the links below. Love you much. Beautiful brown baby doll. Peace.